Hello brothers and sisters, meet again on channel AHONG Simulator. Discussing PS2, of course the discussion about the best PS2 games will give players nostalgia. Sony itself launched the PS2 for the first time in Japan on March 4, 2000. The PS2 was released in line with the high interest of gamers for the PS1 console. So Sony released the next generation with various improvements. PS2 was released with a variety of features to offer. One of them is the ability to play various games released for PS1. In addition, the PS2 is also equipped with a DVD ROM, so it can be used as a media player, both music and video. Of course, PS2 also has more than 10,000 game titles and software or applications that can be run. Where all the titles are also divided into several regions of their respective regions. Here are the 10 best and legendary PS2 games, the AHONG Simulator version. Konami released MGS3 Snake Eater in November 2004 for PS2. Then a year later Konami released an expansion version with the title MGS3 Subsistence in December 2005. MGS3 Snake Eater succeeded in bringing Konami to commercial success with sales of more than 4 million copies as of March 2010. Players will still play the main character, Snake, where Snake is assigned to save a Russian researcher named Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. Following various developments and improvements from various sides such as audio, story, graphics, and gameplay, MGS Snake Eater has received various awards. Some of them won Best Overall Action Games, Best Overall Story, and Best PS2 Sound. And until now, Konami is still continuing this best PS2 game franchise until their last release, namely Metal Gear Survive. But unfortunately many think that MGS Survive is a failure, because it's out of the canon MGS story itself. GTA San Andreas was released by Rockstar in October 2004 for PS2 following the success of its predecessor, GTA Vice City. This game is still being released for other platforms such as Windows PC, Xbox, Mac OS, and PS3. With the release of GTA San Andreas, Rockstar had stumbled upon a case of racism. This is none other than because in this game it contains content of fights and disputes between gangs that carry elements of race and belief. But behind it all, Rockstar also won many awards and financial success. Where GTA San Andreas managed to sell 2 million units in just a week. And in 2011, Rockstar Games was recorded as having sold 27.5 million copies of GTA San Andreas worldwide. Here the player will play a character named Carl Johnson, or known as CJ. Where CJ, who has returned to his hometown, wants to improve his life and wants to kill all the corrupt policemen who destroyed his hometown. This game is one of the legendary games, because until now, many of us are still playing GTA San Andreas. Many players are interested in playing this game because of the many mods that can be used in GTA San Andreas. Initially, Capcom released Re the 4th of January 2005 for the GameCube. And in October 2005 Re 4 was released for PS2. And gradually released for the Windows PC platform, Nintendo Wii, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. This game received a very good response from the players. One of the things that makes it attractive is the introduction of a third-person camera mode with an over-the-shoulder style, which is where this camera style began to be adapted by other games. Capcom also managed to sell more than 320,000 copies in its first 20 days of sales for the GameCube. Then a year since its release, namely January 2006, Re 4 has sold more than 3 million copies. As of September 2020, Re 4 has sold more than 10.4 million copies across all platforms. In this series, players will play the character of Leon S. Kennedy, who is a U.S. special agent, where he was assigned to save the child of the U.S. president named Ashley Graham. Ashley Graham is known to have been kidnapped by a mysterious cult that has affected a group of citizens with a mysterious parasite. And in the middle of his adventure, Leon will also meet a spy named AHONG. Sony released Shadow of the Colossus for PS2 in October 2005 with the action-adventure genre. And without a doubt, Shadow of the Colossus managed to get a very good response by selling 140,000 copies in just 1 week since its release. Players will play the main character named Wander with a horse named Agro, where Wander has to work hard and fight to defeat 16 colossi or bosses in this game. Wander has a mission to defeat all the colossi and get help from Dorman, who has the ability to bring the dead back to life. Because Wander himself hopes to bring Mono back to life. While the relationship between Wander and Mono itself was never explained, both in the game and by the developer himself. The game designer allows players to draw their own conclusions. What is the relationship between Wander and Mono? Konami continued the success of Silent Hill by releasing its second series, Silent Hill 2, in September 2001. This game was released for PS2, Xbox, and Windows PC with the same genre, namely survival horror. Silent Hill 2 was successfully received by gamers with a very positive response. Konami managed to sell more than 1 million copies in a month after its release. Even in the pre-order phase, Silent Hill 2 has sold 350,000 copies. This game tells the story of James Sunderland, the main male character who is in the city of the dead and is looking for the truth about his dead wife. The players will control James, who must be able to solve various puzzles that exist in the city. Sony released Shadow of the Colossus for PS2 in October 2005 with the action-adventure genre. And without a doubt, Shadow of the Colossus managed to get a very good response by selling 140,000 copies in just 1 week since its release. Players will play the main character named Wander with a horse named Agro, where Wander has to work hard and fight to defeat 16 colossi or bosses in this game. Wander has a mission to defeat all the colossi and get help from Dorman, who has the ability to bring the dead back to life. Because Wander himself hopes to bring Mono back to life. While the relationship between Wander and Mono itself was never explained, both in the game and by the developer himself. The game designer allows players to draw their own conclusions. What is the relationship between Wander and Mono? Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal was developed by Insomniac Games and released by Sony in November 2004 for the PS2. It was then released in August 2012 for PS3 and July 2014 for PS Vita. This proves that Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal got a very good response from gamers. So Insomniac Games released this game on various available platforms. Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal is the third installment in the Ratchet and Clank series. This game also still carries the action platformer genre, the same as its predecessor. But in this third series, Insomniac Games provides a new feature. That is the online multiplayer feature with Deathmatch, Capture the Flag, and Siege modes that can be played by up to 8 players. Square Enix released Final Fantasy X for PS2 in July 2001. FFX is still continuing its franchise tradition by carrying the RPG genre. Square Enix also achieved success again because FFX became the first series of the FF franchise that can be played on the PS2 platform. This is evidenced by the sale of FFX as many as 14 million copies in 2013. In FFX introduced a new mode of its gameplay, namely the presence of the CTB feature, namely conditional turn-based battle or count time battle, where each character has a different number of actions. This is because it is determined from the speed countdown that each character has. This time the player will play the main character Titus, who is trying to protect his hometown together with Yuna. Later the players will unlock and get various other characters who will join the Titus group. Ubisoft released Beyond Good and Evil, which has an action-adventure genre, in November 2003 for PS2, which was later released for Windows PC, Xbox, Xbox 360, GameCube, and PS3. This game had a bad response when it was introduced at E3 2002. However, after making various improvements in various aspects, Beyond Good and Evil managed to become one of the best games released on PS2. Some aspects that received a good response when the game was released include animation, design, and the setting of the story that it brought. However, many gamers really regret the quality and style of fighting, as well as some bugs that still exist in the game. With various pros and cons, this game only sold 500,000 copies. Although this game is practically similar to Zelda, Beyond Good and Evil focuses on puzzles and stealth games.
Ubisoft Montreal released Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time for PS2 in November 2003. And in the same year, the game was released for Xbox, GameCube, GBA, and Windows PC. Jordan Mechner, who is the designer of this game, gives a new color in this game that has an action-adventure genre. In addition to presenting a very good storytelling, Pop has a very interesting gameplay. Not only relying on short-range battles with various opponents, players can parkour, climb, and solve various puzzles that must be solved.